Hi Gina.
Hi Ione. Hi everyone. I'm Gina, the senior editor of Polyester.
And I'm Ione, the founding editor-in-chief of Polyester, and this is the Polyester Podcast, a feminist pop culture podcast dissecting the discourse on a weekly basis.
Please make sure to like, rate, subscribe and review. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our membership platform for exclusive podcast-centered perks. We're offering exclusive video episodes, secret mini episodes, and even episodes centered on what you want us to talk about across different tier options. Go check it out at the link in our description. Do we have any reviews, Ione?
We do! This is from an incredible username, Sushi Gigi Mama in India. Fantastic. Get all my updates here, 5 stars.
Thank you.
And then on Spotify, the first comment is about last week's episode, the Taylor Swift episode. Jessica says, I'm crying at twote. And then Rog says on...
Sorry.
What?
Who says?
Rog. R-O-G.
Was her name R-O-G, so they call you Rog?
Rog says on the J.K. Rowling episode, first episode I've listened to, very engaging and nuanced. Loved it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rog. Thanks, Jessica. And thanks, Sushi Gigi Mama.
Sushi Gigi Mama.
What are we talking about today, Ione?
Kim Kardashian's pubes.
Well, not her pube specifically.
No, not her pubes specifically. Plastic pubes that are going to fucking end up in landfill and clog up the entire planet.
Her mass-marketed pubes that I don't really see the point for.
So if you didn't see, Kim Kardashian last week dropped her own version of a merkin. It is a little thong that has a front panel with pubic hair on it. Apparently there is many, many different styles of hair in many, many different shades and many, many different colours.
And textures.
And textures, which is quite important when we're talking about pubes.
It's
quite important. It is quite important.
It's definitely sparked a lot of conversations about pubes.
So the underwear costs $32 and it comes in 12 shades and textures. The pubes are made of faux hair, but are realistic enough that you're not going to want them appearing on your laptop screen at the office, which says Izzy Greenspan from Harper's Bazaar. They have already sold out, which leads me to believe they made exactly one pair of underwear in each size.
Or we've got that conspiracy theory where they don't make the plus sizes.
It's not conspiracy, it's absolutely true. Like, have you ever gone on a website for the
Have you ever gone on a website for
for the plus size listeners among us? Have you ever gone on a website and you might have just gone on as soon as something has dropped? You might have gone on a few weeks after it's dropped. The plus sizes are always all sold out.
Sold out to fuck.
Which means, A, they're either making less of the plus size clothes, or they're not fucking making them at all and they're just putting a listing on their website to seem inclusive.
It's a blag. I reckon they make one of the plus size version and then just get their mate to buy it.
I don't even think they make one because it would cost more. Because you get like...
Because you have to size it up and stuff.
Well, because the less you get of something, the more it costs, right?
Well, I think to
anyway,
steer this back to our conversation, I think what I've always found interesting about the Kardashian brands, and this isn't just Skims but also Good American and Kai, is that they've really pinned a lot of their branding to being inclusive in sizing, which is really funny when the main rhetoric that these women get is that they are promoting really unrealistic body standards.
Well, it's because it's money. Like, they know that plus sizes sell, but then also I think that Kim might dabble her toe in the scam that we have just outlined, because I was trying to buy a Skims thing last year, like a dress for Halloween, and they didn't have plus size. They didn't have my size in loads of the stuff.
I think that there's just a huge appetite as well. It's like 50 of one, 50 of the other. Like, the plus size pound is worth so much because there's such little market for it. So like, these women and fast fashion brands in general really cash in on that because they know that there is a lack of options out there. So that is kind of like why their stuff sells out more. I'm not sure if Kim is doing our proposed theory or if she generally just has a lot of big baddies buying her stuff, but I was surprised that the big baddies wanted the thong, especially because the like strip of hair is very narrow.
Yeah, so I know, it definitely would not fit over
my mons pubis at all.
No.
My wap, not wap.
There's
was
no
it?
fucking way.
Fupa, my fat ass pussy.
So this was on October 14th, and obviously the internet has been set alight. Let's go through some choice tweets. Orion Vanessa says, the Skims bush panties are for cowards who fear commitment to the splendour of such sanctity and freedom. Miss Key Delancourt at Pink Doys?
Pink Dollies, I think.
Yeah, but it's spelled Doys. Don't need to buy a fake Skims bush when you have a homegrown one. And then Kamala Harris pic gif of her going, shh. Courtney in Hell says, I hope Skims starts accepting bush donations like it's locks of love. So Kim put them like on her story and they look so shit, like genuinely so shit. Like it's a little piece of elastic and then this horrible, horrible fake hair, which also, even if this was an actual viable product, looked so itchy. Like imagine how itchy that would be to wear.
Yeah, it's mesh. You'd want a satin back.
It would be... But even the fake hair, like it's going to be so uncomfortable to wear. Anyway.
We don't wear it that way round.
What do you mean?
You don't have the pubes facing you.
Yeah, I know, but it's going to like scratch your thighs, like the inside of your thighs and stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
So at Guadagnino Films, I don't think affiliated with Luca, said they scalped him a fee for this because, you know, Timothy has just gone bald.
Yep.
Lost everything betting on the sushi race says that's everyone's Christmas gift sorted then.
That's the one that tickled me the most.
And then someone said, drop my new Skims, and it's a picture of like, yeah, some like a little ball of hair on the road.
A dust bunny.
And then Lynn at From the Pyre says, this is very sinister to me for reasons I can't articulate properly yet, but I feel the same way about this than about the nipple bra. Why are the female body's features only acceptable when they're imitated by lingerie packaged and sold? Which I think is so true, to be honest.
Really succinctly summed up my feelings in one sentence. Thank you, Lynn.
And then Princess of Fire at Little Loud Lady says, choice feminism has you lasering your shit off just to buy this shit on Klarna Lamau. Again, true. And then at Spooks at Skookum says, the simulacrum is never that which conceals the truth. It is the truth which conceals that there is in none. The simulacrum is true. At Baudrillard. Yeah. But also something that I thought was interesting is basically at the same time, so Kim is the face of Margiela. Margiela in January did a collection, and it was John Galliano's last collection for Margiela, that featured merkins like under satin gowns. There's like pubes under merkins and everyone went absolutely crazy for it, like really liked it. Galliano is a horrible pig of a man. Sidebar. Now Galliano has left. They have a new creative director and they've so famously like Margiela's whole thing is that they're like super avant-garde. They come from this collective of like Margiela himself came from this collective of designers called the Antwerp 7. Antwerp has a really, really famous fashion school that like famously produces very like avant-garde designers essentially. And Margiela was kind of like anti-celebrity. He's always been anonymous. No one knows who he is. They've never had a celebrity front the house basically. Even since he left, and I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he left in the 90s. So like 30 years ago now. But Kim is the first face of Margiela. And on the catwalk and in this campaign, so Margiela's kind of like, what's it called? Like logo, but it's not really a logo, is like 4 pieces of thread that as if you have like a collar, not a collar, what's it called? Like a tag.
A label.
A label sewn into the clothes and it's like the 4 pieces of thread. They had women's models' mouths prized open with like 4 pieces of thread, but they were like prized open like, you know, when you wear like, what's it called? Something that holds your mouth open at the dentist.
Oh, I was going to say it's definitely like a kink gag.
Well, pure of heart, pure of mind.
When I'm at the dentist, they hold my mouth open. Well, they got the big stinking metal gag out.
But for Kim, they've done it so her mouth isn't like forced into a protrusion. It's like she just has like 4 little staples on each corner of her lips and looks sexy. I thought it was interesting that it launches at the same time because I obviously don't think it is on purpose. Like a lot of people be like it's on purpose, but I actually don't think it is.
Do you not think it's her just cashing in on it?
Exactly. So I think the Margiela collection was couture, which means that we'll never see it. Like that's never going to be produced in shops or anything like that. It's for like a very select people that can afford it. And even then, I wonder if the merkins were even like part of the collection or they were just considered
famously,
like...
when Ariana Grande performed at the Met Gala this year,
yeah,
she didn't wear the merkin. She wore the dress, she didn't wear the merkin.
I mean, unsurprising there.
Very unsurprising, but I would have rated it. I think Bjork wore the merkin on the cover of, was it Dazed?
I don't think it was Dazed, but I don't know what it was.
maybe?
Maybe another.
Yeah, but she's worn the dress with the merkin, so I think it's like turned into this funny, well not funny, but this choice that celebrities are making, whether they want to wear the merkin or not.
Regardless of that, like the Margiela ones weren't meant for market. No. And then Kim has come along and made this like mass market approach, but also lots of people are being like, bushes are in fashion, bush. Oh my God, Kim's trying to make bush. No, she's not. She's trying to get attention.
She's not even wearing it in the ad imagery. I think like that's what.
Yeah, she won't even put one on.
That's what it brought to mind, because I think she didn't appear in the adverts for the face kini thing, but then she did wear it on socials. When she launched the nipple bra, she was in the advert, and she was like, the main star of the advert. So I think it's interesting the choices that she makes with these like stunt tactic products, whether she is actually going to be seen wearing them. But I've got a theory.
Go on.
She's going to wear it for Halloween.
I mean, that would be embarrassing.
I think she's quite embarrassing.
With what?
God knows. She'll probably do like some like Dilara dress with her merkin, and she's going to do a Botticelli thing.
I think the thing that makes me most depressed is that like I think I have quite a high threshold for rampant consumerism, and the joy of shopping is something I partake in. But seeing stuff like this just makes me depressed.
Yeah, it really makes me long for being like writing essays about this on Tumblr when I was a teenager.
And what would be the essay?
What I'm saying right now is a load of shit.
So SKIMS also, I think, like famously has a really low sustainability and ethical footprint. Like they make shit for the cheapest amount possible.
Shein is lower than Temu, is lower than Fashion Nova, it's lower than Primark. A lot of that is based on the fact that they don't declare their sources and stuff.
Which means you can imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine. But I think like Kim rides on the fact that she's like, it's secrecy because we've got this special fabric and stuff. But it's like, well, you don't.
It's plastic.
It's in Primark.
It's woven plastic.
The same shite is in Primark right now. It's just that they have to declare their... When I worked at Primark, they made us do those presentations you do when you like start a new job.
Yeah.
And half of it was like, we do not use child labour. If a customer comes up to you and asks you about child labour, get your manager. And I think Kim obviously wants to avoid any of those conversations, so she just doesn't declare anything.
Someone's going to expose it at some point.
Well, it's like, ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also just think it's such like a cheap gimmick for that as well. It's like, obviously, and I saw in one of the research pieces, it was like, she's already done everything that can be done with lingerie. She's done like the candy thong where you can like, and bra where you can like eat it, that have been in tourist shops for literally since the beginning of time itself. She's done like the nipple bra. She's done like alongside the actual bunny quotes innovation in shapewear. She's always done these stupid things, but it's like it's just shit. It's just so crap, and it's not funny or interesting.
Well, it's just not fashion, which is like why
I don't care if it's not fashion. It's not even product.
No, but the point is that like the Margiela stuff is making an artistic point. And not necessarily one that I agree with. I think like Anastasia wrote a really interesting piece about the way that curves were used.
Yeah, because it was all padding. It was all padding,
and it wasn't like, it looked like extreme corsetry. It wasn't, which is what Kim actually does in real life.
To her body, yeah.
Extreme corsetry, but then sells you a waist trainer and says it does the same thing. But the Margiela thing flew by because people were like, this is haute couture, this is art, this is trying to make a point, regardless of whether that point is a valid one. It's still like very much trying to do that. And even like in the articles, people are trying to like girl boss Kim about it as well. They're like, what if she's the greatest like female feminist performance artist of our time?
Yeah, I know, I saw that. It's like maybe Kim's whole life is like it's a performance art. And it's like, it's not. It's like the Taylor Swift thing. It's like, these people don't care about anything apart from money. They don't care about art. They don't care about being interesting. They care about money.
But they also care about the way they're perceived. And I think Kim does like utilize shock tactics in a way where she's trying to make it fashion. Like the campaign for this was like doing like that fake, it was such like a high budget advert for it. She didn't just like drop these like a fucking Smithies advert, or like with no advert. Like it was definitely like a thought out campaign to like get her attention and like cement her as like someone who's doing something interesting in the fashion space. And I think it's interesting that it came the week after she did the like Nike SKIMS collab. Like she's done like the high, well, not that Nike's very high, but she's done the high and then she's done the low. Mm-hmm. Like she's mentioned herself within the fashion world, and then she's like, oh, but I'm actually an artist who does these like crazy stunts.
I don't think she even thinks she's an artist. I think that she like knows that SKIMS is a cash cow and tries to spend the rest of her life being taken seriously by like continuing this facade of being a fashion.
Well, I think that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Should we go to a break?
Yes. We're back from the break. Ione, I think something interesting you said when we were going into... You always do this when I come back. When we were going into like planning the research or giving Rob like advice on what kind of research we wanted for this, was a New York Times article that looked at why Can't Fashion See What It Does to Women by Vanessa Friedman. Do you want to talk about why you liked it?
Yeah, sure. So Vanessa Friedman is like the fashion critic at the New York Times. She's like just an industry legend basically, and is like considered one of the last only remaining great fashion critics. Like, I think there's others like Susie Menkes, Kathy Horan, like basically people that aren't afraid to say what they think. They're not the only ones, by the way, so don't come for me.
I'm right here.
And Jean Tonica and Ione Gamble. She goes to like all of the shows, and obviously Paris Fashion Week has kind of just finished, and in her roundup for Paris she did kind of like a roundup piece, and it was all about how Paris Fashion Week presented so many collections that were just like oppressive and all out restrictive to women essentially, and to the models that were wearing these clothes and putting them down the runway. So some examples included, like at Courage's, there were like literally big helmet kind of face coverings that look like bellends. Did you see them?
Yeah. I think
that genuinely looked like a bellend.
Yeah, one of the examples was Alex Consani in that dress where like she couldn't move her arms,
which was Aaliyah. And then there was also like Tom Brown that basically put giant alien helmets over women's faces. And then there was the mouth guards at Margiela, which we've already mentioned. It kind of, she touches on the point that Valentino, while the clothes were leveled up, the models were extremely skinny, which is like another thing that has been noted across the board for Fashion Week. And I think anyone with eyes can see that as well.
Not just in Fashion Week, but across the board.
And then also, what's that brand? Horrible brand, Métier Ficals.
Yeah.
And she's basically saying that they're the only ones that did inclusivity, but then the shoes were like so impossible to walk in and didn't fit the models that like models were like falling and like basically making a mockery of them. And also made a really good point that like, oh, also, Métier Ficals are fucking warped, by the way. Like, if you want a good deep dive into why they are cancelled, because they are abhorrent, and it is crazy that they are being embraced by the fashion industry.
Yeah, they're really being pushed to the forefront. Like Gaga was just wearing their new collection, arriving at a hotel, but that's a very chic moment for Gaga in general.
And as an old with a tag who has been around since 2014, I can remember the great Métier Ficals cancellation of yesteryear.
Your fashion history always blows my mind though, I think.
Oh, I think this is another thing that pisses me off though about like back to the merkins, is loads of people are being like, oh, she's just copied Galliano, and it's like, girls, the span of fashion did not start and end when you started looking at Vogue Runway. Like, it fucking didn't. Like, does no one remember 2016 feminism? Does no one remember us all growing out our pubes? Does no one remember body hair? Like, we've literally only just come out of this like period of time,
and now we're back, apparently.
Yeah, it's just like people don't remember anything.
I thought it was really cute that in one of the articles, I can't remember which, they quote like Cameron Diaz's book about like the body, and in it she's just like, girls, you shouldn't laser off your pubes because trends come and
They'll
go.
come back. I mean, this is another thing. Wait, you're allowed to tell your story or not?
Yeah, I guess.
Go on.
A friend's mother's friend lasered off all her pubes, as many women were wont to do in maybe the early 2000s. Then broke up with her husband. Then started dating a new guy, and before they did the do, he was
Did the do?
I
never heard that before.
Before they did the do, he was like, oh, have you got a bush? I really love bushes. I only fuck women with bushes. I have kind of a fetish for it, really, essentially. Which I also think is a plotline in Sex and the City. But she had to wear a merkin.
Oh, is this going to be like that story, the David Beckham story you told me once? And I was like, no, that's actually just like a really famous fake thing.
No, this is real.
If anyone wants to know what the David Beckham story is, get in the WhatsApp.
I trust my intel, but I can't remember what the David Beckham story was.
The wedding one.
Oh. Anyway, yeah. So she's probably like jumping and clicking her heels. Yeah, did this come out?
Yeah, a lot of people have been like, oh, well, in one of the researches, it's saying that like not even 40 days ago on Instagram, Kim was promoting a laser, like an at-home laser hair thing.
Highs and lows, baby. But the thing is, it's not highs and lows when you're just cash grabbing from every fucking pot you can pick too.
Well, I also think realistically, like obviously there's extremely specific cases like the one you have just mentioned where people will need a merkin.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like mentioned over and over again in the articles. It's like, well, maybe this is good for people who are going through chemotherapy or people who have got alopecia, and I think that's like the worst like lingering thing from 2016 feminism.
Is that people are like, well, what about?
Well, people will just justify the most horrific thing because they'll be like,
people with cancer need this.
Yeah, like there's that one going around on Twitter at the minute, which is like, someone's like, why didn't you wear a seatbelt? And they're like, well, it actually like gives me too much like stimulation and I can't wear it. And someone's like, I think you'll feel a lot more stimulated when you smash through the windscreen of your car.
But on 2016 feminism, what I would like to say about this is, so I feel like when we were in school, body hair was like, yeah, really, really taboo. And then I feel like Tumblr feminism really just like helped me become true neutral about my body hair. And I feel like you're kind of similar with this one as well, where it's like, I've never really cared that much. Like, I still feel pressure probably more now than I did when I was like in my early 20s.
Definitely.
100%. But like when it comes to my pubes, I do not really care that much about what they look like. And I don't think about it that much. And I just get on with my day. And I feel like I can definitely credit that to like the internet feminism I grew up with. And it just seems like this like fixation on it, whether it's positive, negative or whatever. Well, it's actually just more stigmatizing for it. Because yeah, it's not that she's doing this being like proud of your bush, which is interesting. Well, I also thought it was interesting that apparently this has all stemmed from a TikTok trend that was like full bush bikini summer.
Yeah.
Which like is a real internet trend. And then she's just cashing in on it.
Yeah, we
also
covered it
in
on the
winter
site.
when no one's going to have their pubes out anyway. But it makes a mockery of it. Like it's not celebratory, it's mockery.
Also, it's like missing the part where a lot of pubes would be. Like so much of your pubes is carried in your undercarriage. Like it's not just the front showing triangle.
Yeah. And also that triangle's a landing strip.
And what I found,
you're not going to convince me otherwise.
What I found interesting, I travelled back in time to our website where we covered this trend starting where it was like, I trust advice from someone with a full bush, or like nobody knows I've got a full bush in a thong under my clothes, like, and kind of explored that trend at the time. And when it pulled out like how pubes have been treated throughout history, and it's like people try and think like, oh, that only happened in the 90s. No, in like ancient Egypt, they were rubbing their pubes off with like a pumice stone. There's other examples in it. But then she goes on to explore how the rise of bald fannies came up with the rise of porn, like mainstream porn. And she makes the point, and it's sourced, that it was just so you can see porn more graphically.
Yeah.
Because if it's like bush to bush video porn,
yeah, well, you're seeing this bush to bush.
Yeah, you're not really seeing like dick in vag.
Yeah.
Or fingers in vag, or...
Fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't need any more examples.
There's plenty of ways to have sex, guys, and I'm not excluding any of them. But yeah, like a huge part of this has come about because we want to be horrible little creatures who see more cock.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Especially like linking that back to Kim, who's made such a huge career for herself being selling sex, essentially.
Well, and I also think, so basically linking back to the Vanessa Friedman piece, which is that like women are basically being like bound gagged at Fashion Week. It's so easy to try and put this in a box where it's like, this is emancipatory, but it's not. It's like just more adornment and more shit. And like it feels, I think people are desperate to try and find some empowering message in it because we are going through this like extreme phase of conservatism when it comes to like body size, but also now trickling down to like the actual clothes that mostly male designers are putting women in that are then we're all going to buy like in 2 years. And I wonder if anyone will buy the Elia dress and fall down because they will have no movement and fall in the street because they will have no central balance.
And safety assessment of Elia.
But yeah, so we're trying to grab at this, but it's not. It's a mockery. So it says that like I haven't watched the campaign video yet, but it's shot like very like 70s game show, and it's a male game show host saying, "Does the carpet match the drapes?" Which is so sexist. I've literally been with like friends walking down the street where men have like shouted that at them. And it's just like horrible and mocking and not funny and not cute and not interesting. And I think that like fashion is confused right now. Kim loves attention. And it does seem jarring against this like backdrop of conservatism. Like another point that Vanessa Friedman makes is that Miuccia Prada for Miu Miu did like a whole collection of aprons. Oh, and another fashion Twitter bad opinion was people being like, wow, she's so clever. She's commenting on tradwife. She's commenting on this. She's commenting on that. But Vanessa Friedman said, despite the fact that her aprons, floral, canvas and lace were laid over visible bras and undies or covered in jewels and otherwise glamorized, the idea never quite achieved transcendence, perhaps because aprons themselves still represent both economic inequality and the rise of the tradwife movement, uneasy subjects for very expensive fashion. And I think it's also worth thinking about, especially in America, loads of people will be buying Skims. But who's mostly going to be buying this merkin? Rich, middle America, conservative women doing it for like a laugh or because they need to have every single thing in their wardrobe.
Or because their husband wants a fucking bush.
Yeah, but I think that's a very small percentage. I think if we've seen that somewhere, if that's the case, they would have had to seek it out somewhere else before.
Maybe they have.
Huh?
Maybe they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. So they won't be buying Skims.
That's true.
Unless they're like, wow, I can stock up.
Yeah, I can stock up on these 32 quid ones.
And then secondly is another thing is that, yeah, like people don't think of, like, I think fashion is obviously more than shopping, but people aren't thinking of like the consumer of these things enough. So, well, they are a bit, but not really. But it's like, who are these Miu Miu dresses going to actually realistically end up on the backs of? Rich, conservative, fascist women.
No,
exactly.
Going to have it on. Ballerina Farm's going to have it on.
So any sense of like irony or intellectual rigor, and it's the same thing with Skims, is just completely stripped away when you actually think about how that item interacts in the world.
Exactly.
And it's all a load of shit.
Yeah, it's all really depressing. And I think people just automatically see something as like flipping the zeitgeist or like an important piece of art just because it's like doing something converse to like the mainstream or like the popular opinion. So people are like, there's like this huge conversation at the minute about the MAGA aesthetic and like how these women are so primped and preens and look like fucking pageant queens, like all the MAGA women look like it. So they're like, well, Fashion Week's really like gritty and dirty, and even Kim's getting involved by like subverting it by putting out a fucking thong with a bush on it. But it's like, is it a subversion though? Imagine when North finds that in her drawer as well. She's gonna go crazy. Why is she putting it in North's drawer?
No, in her mum's drawer. She's going to have a field day. She's going to be laughing.
It's just quite dark-sided as well because so many, yeah, I think the consumer, but especially like young women are going to see this and be like, oh, the natural state of my body is something to be laughed at.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And I think that
even treating it as something that can be like taken on and off is like not a reality. Like obviously it is a reality, but like there's different access points and like levels to which that can be done through like class, race, all of these things. So like treating it as this like disposable and like a trend when it's a body is crazy.
And even just like the shape of it, the way where it's specifically placed,
the fact that it looks like it costs 10p,
the size that you're able to like put it across, like it's just not applicable to so many people, and that's purposeful to be exclusionary.
Well, I don't even, yeah, it is purposeful, but it's just because it's not serious. These are not serious people.
It's depressing.
Yeah, and with that we're done.
Podcast over.
Podcast finished.
Never hear from us again.
Thank you so much everyone for listening. Thank you to Gina for co-hosting. Thank you to Rob for the research and the teching, and thank you to Olivia for editing.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.